Okie dokie, so hello everybody. My name is Mil and I'm going to attempt to teach you maybe how to use MuseScore. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to install MuseScore, first download it obviously, then we're going to get it up and running, apply some handy tips and tricks that I really like because there's one really annoying thing they try to do, and then start writing music and making it sound good. Because that's really what you want to do at the end of the day. You don't want to learn how to write code. You don't want to learn how to use your computer. You just want to learn how to put notes on a page and hear them. And hopefully let other people hear them too. So, the first thing we're going to do in our MuseScore adventure is go to your browser of choice. Could be Chrome, could be Firefox. I'm using Brave. Whatever floats your boat. So, then the first thing you're going to do is you're going to want to search for MuseScore on Google or DuckDuckGo if you're cool. And you don't want to look at these ads. They're ads. Don't look at them. Ignore them. What you want to find is MuseScore.org. Make sure it isn't MuseScore.com because that's a different service. You want MuseScore.org, which is the software. So once you've got here, you have the free download button. If you're using a Mac, it'll detect that and it'll give you the Mac version. Same for Linux or BSD. So then just click on the free download button and it'll download. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. And it might take maybe 13 or so seconds. Oh, it's going to take 20 seconds. So you can get your bass guitar and you can play or practice. So now it's downloaded. So what you can do now is open your MuseScore file and do this little setup wizard. We all love setup wizards. I've actually already installed it and I don't want to reinstall it, but you can just click next and have some really easy prompts that you can follow through. And I have no doubt in my mind that you'll be able to get through it flawlessly. You can do it. It's not that hard, really. So once you've installed it, I'm going to cancel this because obviously I don't need to reinstall it. I don't need to uninstall it. But you can press cancel. Well, don't press cancel, install it. But I can press cancel. And then you click finish. You can close your browser. And now you can open MuseScore. So obviously I've already got MuseScore in my taskbar, but you won't. So what you want to do is you want to go into MuseScore 3 in your start menu or in the applications folder if you're a Mac user. And just click on that. And it'll open up MuseScore. So I'm going to click close here. And first I'm just going to show you some, so you should do that too. And I'll show you exactly what you should do to make your MuseScore experience and your journey a lot happier and a lot less frustrating. And it's just one option in the menu. So click edit and then preferences and click start empty. Once you have when you first install the program, it'll have this start with score button. But you really don't want that because then it'll just annoy you, okay? I've been using it for a few years and it's not a wise choice. So just click start empty and press apply. There's also a dark theme if you're one of those people. I'm not one of those people, but if you are, you can use that at your discretion. Then just click OK. And to create your first score, your very first score, simply click the Create New File button. And you'll get this new score wizard. And you can start naming your song. So what I'm going to call this song is I'm going to name it after this empty bottle of vanilla Coke. I'm going to call this Empty Bottle of Vanilla Coke. And I'll just get rid of that. And the subtitle will be Dedicated to My Love, Vanilla Coke. The composer will be Emil Smith. That's me, of course. And we don't use lyrics because we are not singers. If you sing and you want lyrics, you can put a lyricist in. But that's not me. And I'm a public domain kind of guy, so I'm not going to put a copyright in. So when you go to the next step, you can choose your instruments. Generally, I'll choose that because I want control over who's in my band. But most people, you're just going to be able to choose popular. For some reason, the bluegrass band is in the popular section. I don't think it should be, but it is. There's a rock band. You've got all sorts of jazz things. You've got your lead sheets. You've got your big band. Chamber music for you kind of cool kids playing classical music. Everything else you could ever want, really. If you're in a percussion ensemble, you got your percussion. Everything the heart could want. But today we're just going to write a simple piano melody. So I'm going to choose a great stave, because that's just your treble, your bass, and your bars. So I'm going to click next now. And you know what? I might choose the key signature of D major, because in the name Vanilla Coke, there's no D. That's why I'll choose D major. Don't ask me. So you can also choose tempo. If you don't select this, it'll default to 120 beats per minute. But I like to change it a little bit. I want it a little bit slower today, so we might go for 96 beats per minute. So you can just click next, so make sure you just select your key signature. It'll default to C major, A minor, but we're going D major. Now click next. Time signature, you can choose 4/4. So you can choose any time signature you want. Or you could do 7/4 if you wanted, you could do 5/4, you could do 13/4. Why would you? You can do it if you want to, but I'm going to choose 4/4, because it's pretty easy. We can make an anacrusis for one beat, one quarter note, which is a crotchet in our beautiful Australian, well not Australian, but the system we use in Australia. And we can choose our number of bars, which will be 4 today, because I honestly just do not want to write a complicated piece. So click finish, and you'll have this lovely little score, if you can call it that. So to start, what we're going to do is we're going to start inputting some notes, because that's the best way to start writing a piece, usually. So I'm going to write it obviously in the key of D, so I might start with the D. But how do you input notes? If you just start clicking randomly here, you're not going to get any notes. You're going to look like an idiot. But to start inputting notes, you can click on this little note input button. Or what you can do, this is what I do because it's a lot easier for me, just press the N button on your keyboard, that's N for note input, and it'll bring you to that menu without clicking the button. It works very easily. And then you can start clicking around wherever you want your notes to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a D. That's going to be a crotchet. So press the click there, D. And the next thing I want to do is I want to put an F sharp, which is going to be a dotted minim. So the way to get a minim is to press the 6 button on your keyboard, and that'll give you a minim. So now I've got a minim, see? That's by pressing the 6th key. You can notice how this one is 2, this one is 3, this one is 4, this one is 5, and this one is 6. And then, to get the dot for your dotted minim, there's a dot here. You can click the dot, as you can click any of these buttons, but I'm going to teach you the keyboard shortcut, which is pressing the full stop. Full stop on your keyboard activates the augmentation dot. And that's all you need to know. And then you can start clicking away. So now I've got this beautiful one here. I'm going to press 4, and that'll give me the quavers. Then I can add a G and an A, and then I want to press 5, and now it's going to do a straight bar, just crotchets, 4 crotchets in a bar, A, G, and F sharp, and then I might add a, let's see, I'll add a minim, I'll start on an E, then I'll chuck in another crotchet here for an F and a G, and then I'll click on the 7 button for your semi-brief, and end on an F sharp. Controversial choice, I know, but that's what we're rolling with today. Okay, so now we've got our empty bottle of vanilla Coke piece. I'm going to press Ctrl S to save, and I've got a really weird monitor, so it's going to look really small. It'll look bigger on your device, and then just click save. I would recommend choosing an actual directory that you know and trust. So I have a school folder, so I might choose school. I wouldn't save it in German, I'd save it in music. And you can even create a new folder. I love vanilla Coke. and inside of that folder, click Save. And then your file will be saved right there. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to add in some chords in the left hand. And realistically, it's exactly the same, the process between the left hand and the right hand. So just select your note input, press N, and you can start clicking away at notes. So first I'm going to start with a D major chord. That's a very nice chord. You've got the third there. You've got the fifth there. It'll work. That's a lovely passing note. And it's not a bad one either. So press F sharp and A. That'll go for a full bar. The next thing I want to do is an F sharp minor. Because in F sharp minor, you've got your F sharp, you've got an A, and to top it all off, you've got a C sharp, which isn't there. But it'll work well, I promise. So what I want to do is just for a bit of consistency, I'll chuck in the A here. That's easier for me to play because I'm not a good pianist. And then I'll just put the C sharp in here. Just moving down the bass note. Really cool chord voicings, but it's a bit complicated. Don't get into it. Then what you want to do is chuck in, I'm going to choose an E minor maybe. You've got an E here, a G there. That works. That can just be a lovely 7th. We don't know. A 9th we don't think about. So chuck in an E, a G, and a B. And then we can end it on a D major again. So we've got a lovely chromatic bass line there with some easy to play chords that fit up with the notes. And then you can press N to get out of note input, and you're good to go. So to start playing back your piece, just click the rewind button up here to go to the start. See how it's selected the blue note right there. Now click play. And what I might even do here, I might move this A down to the A down here to keep that chromatic movement of the bass line. I think it'll have a nice effect. So what we can do to move notes down is we have two options. So what you can do is you can just use your up and down arrow keys. So I'm going to press the down arrow key and then move it down a semitone. So I can just keep pressing the down arrow key until I reach the A. That will achieve the same result. So we can click this note and press the space bar, and that'll start playback from that note. See, that's a really nice way. But what we can also do, so I'm going to back up with the up arrow. But what we can also do is, and usually I would only use this for entire bars and things like that, but you can use the transpose key, and by interval down a perfect octave. Okay, it moved it. That's a bit overkill though for what we're doing now. This isn't exactly the peak of complexity. So I just use the arrow keys for small things. It's easy. And another important keyboard shortcut to know is the delete key. So if you want to say really want to get rid of this F sharp, you think it's an absolutely horrendous note, you think anything, including a rest, would be better than that darned F sharp, what you can do is select it and press the delete key. Now watch out here, if you're on Windows, don't press the backspace key, because this backspace key acts as an undo button when you're in the note input. What you want to do on Windows is press the delete key, and that'll remove the note and replace it with the rest. If you're on a Mac, you unfortunately only have one delete key, so just press that one and it'll work. Okay, but obviously I just did a Control Z there, or Control Z if you're Australian, and that brings it back to where it was. Like in Microsoft Word, it just does it. So now we've got our little piece of music, and it's looking pretty fine. We can play it back with our play button. It's quite nice, isn't it? But it's a bit boring. So once we've entered our notes in, we want to add in maybe some articulation, some dynamics to spice it up, you know? It's like when you're making porridge, right? You could just put milk and oats in a bowl, put it in a microwave for 2.5 minutes on high, then stir it, put it in for another 2 minutes, and technically you've got a bowl of porridge. But it's going to be a really boring bowl of porridge. So you want to put in some cinnamon. You want to put in some brown sugar. You want to put in some chopped up banana. And that'll really give it that flavour kick, the sustenance you need for your day. And in music, instead of cinnamon, we've got forte. Instead of chopped up banana, we've got the little wizard hat. And instead of honey or brown sugar, we can use a fermata or a pause. So to add these in, it's really simple. So to add in the forte, we're going to put a forte in the right hand. So just click on your note and double click on the F, the forte. And it'll just chuck a forte there. How easy is that? But we're thinking, we want that to be forte. But then we've just let our left hand go loose. The pianist could decide to play it fortissimo, or they could decide to play it pianissimo. So what are we going to do? We'll just select an N and go mezzo piano perhaps. Keep it nice and balanced, you know? And now we can also want to put maybe an accent on this note. So we'll select the note, just double click on the accent. I want to put staccato on this note, I'll double click on the staccato. It's really that easy. And then to top it all off, I might put a fermata or a pause on this note here. I might also on the chord on the bass to keep it consistent. And I think that's good enough. I might put a little line over the top, a tenuto, above the G. That'll just keep it smoother. You know, all the cool stuff that people want. And now we can just listen to it again. So rewind to the start position and play. Beautiful. So now what you've got is your very own piece of music. Your very own empty bottle of vanilla Coke, once filled with vanilla Coke. The drink is gone, but the song remains in your heart. And that's what's important about music. It's about the emotion, it's about the feeling, it's about the memories. So we've got this beautiful sentimental piece about what once was. And now what we can do is we can just click save, and that'll be beautiful. You can also do save as or export, and then you can choose PDF file or MP3 audio. And what that'll do is if you want to save as a PDF to send it to people, you can choose PDF and save it there. And then from there, if you open up your File Explorer, you've got your PDF. And it's going to open up here, isn't it? But we've got it here. Empty folder from Notebook. It's just a regular PDF document you can send to anyone. Works really well across devices. All the cool kids using it. The other option you've got, you can export it as, is as an audio file. So I don't think I've got an MP3 codec on here, but I'm going to try saving it as an MP3 audio file. And what that's going to do is it's going to try and save it as an MP3 file. It's exporting. There you go. It's saved as an MP3 file apparently, which you can open VLC. Let's go. Just an audio file. And really, that actually sounds a lot better than I thought it would. It sounds more like a real piano than it used to. But yeah, that's how you make your first score. That's how you install MuseScore. That's how you spice it up a little bit. And in another lesson, I'll get into more complicated things, percussion parts, more complicated instrumentation, writing for B-flat instruments and E-flat instruments. We don't talk about them. Talk about formatting your score more, etc. But for now, this is what we're starting with, and really that's all you need to make great music in MuseScore. So, have a great day, and I'll see you later.